Hey guys, what's up? This is Geeky Rahul from V4AI. Today we're going to talk about data science workflow. So in this video, as you are aware that we are starting a video series on learning data science using Python. So I am expecting that you are having some basic understanding of Python. Even if it's not there, then I'll try to teach you guys from the basics itself. So before going to Python, we should understand why we are learning it, what kind of workflow is there in the while solving data science problems, and what all things in Python we should learn. So that's why I'm creating this video, just to let you know that what all steps a data scientist follow before delivering solutions. So the first step is problem definition. For example, if you are a data scientist, and you have been assigned a task to do some sort of analysis and build a solution to predict the next year's sales of an e-commerce platform. In that case, that is a problem which you are supposed to solve. So we are going to define the objectives and the success criteria for the project. We are going to define the scope and constraints for the project. So in this way, it is very important to do this so that we'll be at least aware of the objectives. The next step is data acquisition. Data acquisition is about identifying and gathering the relevant data sets that are required for analysis. It is also important because to explore the data and to understand its structure. So this all these things will be required, but while gathering the data we might get some data which might be having some missing values. So data preparation and pre-processing is definitely required. For example, if we are getting census data, it is fairly possible that at some point of time the census might be giving us extremely wrong values, or it may just get turned off in the middle. So those null values needs to be removed. And similarly, for the textual data, we'll have to perform some pre-processing before feeding it to the before trying to perform some sort of analysis. So these things are definitely required. Then the next step which comes is exploratory data analysis. Now we have our pre-processed data, the data that has been prepared. It data analysis needs to be done. For example, it's sensor data. We should check when actually sensors are giving extremely different values. So these kind of analysis can be done using exploratory data analysis. We can just go ahead and plot some charts, do some sort of statistical tests as well. Then after this, we'll be having some insights about our data, so we can go ahead and move for the model selection. For example, if it's about understanding whether if there's an image, if there's a cat in the image or not, so it's a sort of classification problem. But if we talk about, if we want to predict what's going to be the temperature of tomorrow, then we are going to predict a numerical value, then that's a regression problem. For all these type of problems, we can use n number of models. So we'll have to go ahead and select one on the basis of our data set and then train the model on top of our data. But after training the data, is it very, are you guys 100% sure that the data model that we have trained it's going to work well with the solving the business problem? Definitely you can't say. So we'll have to evaluate and interpret the data model as well, so that if everything goes well and the business problem is seems to be getting solved by it, then only we can go ahead and deploy it only after we are satisfied with the model's results. So this is the way we guys keep on working to deliver a good data science solution to a client. Now, why we are doing the data pre-processing? Because if you're not be having the data set in the proper format, then you cannot expect the good results. This is I mean, there's a very common proverb in the data science industry: garbage in, garbage out. So, due to this thing, we should convert our data into information, into nuggets of information, so that we can get some nuggets out of it, right? The shining nuggets. So in this section, we guys are going to talk about data acquisition, because after understanding the problem, we'll have to gather some data. and the data can be stored in various formats. It can be stored in CSV files, DSV files, or text files. So these are known as data dumps, which are already there in our system, and we can directly import it. So these files can be there. Then our client may ask us to get some data from Twitter, YouTube, or GitHub, or maybe Hacker News, sorry. So these kind of APIs we can use to get some data from Amazon. So we will need to access the data from APIs. Then if our client wants some secondary data where we don't have an API access, in that case we'll have to scrape the website, scrape the web application to get some to gather the data. So and this scraping is extremely important. Trust me, this is one such thing which is like a very, very important tool which should be there in our arsenal, right? And the next thing is about documents. The data can be stored in documents, in a Word file, in a text file, in the documents like PDF as well. So if we are asked to load some PDF files, then definitely we can do it. We can extract the text data from it and build the models. So this is how things work. And all right, I think in this video we have talked a bit about the theoretical stuff, but in the next section of this video, in the video itself, I'll be helping you to load the data from data dumps, the CSV file, the text files, using library called pandas. And in the next set of videos, we'll be discussing about the other stuff using some advanced libraries as well. So just stay tuned. So I believe now my laptop screen is visible to you. Let's start the terminal. So what am I supposed to do is I'll have to create a new Conda environment, then install the required packages, right, using pip or Conda. Okay, Conda create minus minus name learn Python, right? LPDS V for AI. You can learn Python for data science by V for AI. Press Y. Cool. So the Conda environment has been created. Activate LPDS underscore V for AI. Conda install pandas. It should install. So pandas have been installed. Now we can simply try to go and start the notebook. Now let's start the notebook. Yeah, so here's the notebook file, and let me just show you that I have downloaded the wine quality dataset. I'll have to unzip it. I can do it programmatically as well, but let's try to unzip it. Here's the dataset. So this is it's Excel worksheet, okay? Yeah. So this is the file, and you can see the okay, and let's try to load it in the dataset. First of all, we'll have to import pandas as PD. This way we import a library. Now we just have to load the dataset. So in pandas, we actually load the data in the form of data frames, right? So as a short form, I'm just loading it as df. Df is the variable name. PD dot read. There's a function called read underscore CSV. In this, we are going to pass in the path. Just press a tab and then you'll be able to see the file name. then you can mention, just try to execute it. This will help you to see where the data set has been loaded or not. So as you can see, the data has been loaded, but it's not in the right format because the separator here was semicolon. So what we'll have to do is, it's not loading the data correctly, so we'll be passing SEP quotes and the separator value, which is semicolon. So let's execute it again. And now as you can see, the data has been loaded perfectly. And the first is fixed acidity, and these are all the column names. Let's say this quality I want to plot. So I can do this by dot plot. Yeah, so as you can see, it has plotted the chart with the quality and the y-axis and the number of wines with that quality value here itself, right? So the minimum quality is 3, then the highest value is 8. Similarly, if you want to, but this graph is not making much of sense. So try to check the distribution df dot quality dot value counts. So here you can see the, for the quality 5 we have 681 records. Then similarly we have these many records for each of the type. And I think now this might be making a bit of sense to you. Similarly, there is a function by which we can get a basic idea about the whole data set. So by, if you execute df.info, it will tell you that these are the columns, these are the data types, and if you want to see the distribution, then you can simply execute df.describe function. This will give you an idea about the count of the number of records. Here is itna, the mean value of the fixed acidity is 8.3. So this is the way you can get the statistical values as well, the standard deviation, the minimum value, the maximum value. I think that it's making a bit of sense to you. In the next set of videos, we are going to delve more into this to help you understand these things in a better way. And so just stay tuned and check out the next video so as to learn more about pandas and how to use your skills to build some cool data science projects.